So I have a thread on Lipstick Alley that follows along with my gang stalking, and it is called Grimes is a Gang Stalker. And that's because the people who targeted me are a lot of affluent and people of status, right? So they have these networks of groups who are operatives or affiliates, and their job is to do this targeting. And the targeting provides them a UBI or a way to make money, which is why they are loyal to it. It's their livelihood. It's also how they show up in the world personality wise so that they can image curate, okay? I want you to go watch a video by a philosopher named Carefree Wandering. He talks about something called prophilicity. So this is in regards to your avatar, your packaging, how you come across to other people, how you're perceived, and how you curate that. So these people curate their digital persona or their presence socially online based on the people that they target, the identities that they consume. So they're a type of metaphysical cannibal, and they cannibalize the people that they target. So they want to subsume your identity, your personality, your ego, your engrams, your story, your vision, your path as their own, and consolidated into their timeline for their narrative, which is why they're always talking about attachments and entities and this, that, and the third, but they don't actually know what entities or any of the terms that they use are in regards to the technology or the ecosystem that they are operating within. They just know like base level instruction that's given to them. The higher ups, like I'm not going to call Grimes a higher up. She's powerless, but she uses the power of other people around her, which is what most of these people do. They are presented as being powerful by proxy. It's somebody else's power that they wield. They don't even generally have personal power. They've either stripped it for themselves or somebody else has stripped it to them in lieu for the power that they are loaned. Okay? So this network is sent out when they want to oppress somebody, when they want to steal from somebody else or take on somebody else's identity. And most of this is precipitated by identity theft. So they hack you, they put you under surveillance, traditional surveillance and bio and neural surveillance. They take your identity, then they access what is called a digital twin or a wireless body area network, a medical body area network that's used in medical telemetry. And that's how they do what they call energy harvesting, which is like harvesting energy from your cells. Okay, so this is a part of cellular and molecular communication. If you go watch videos by Michael Levin, those are the people that are not reducing the knowledge you need into a perversion of New Ageism, spirituality, and religion. Michael Levin is the type of person you need to be listening to if you are targeted or gang stalked, because he's the one that's telling you the science of it, okay? And it's important, especially if you are coming from minority communities, that you ignore the operatives and that you listen to the people that are engineering. Okay, that's important. It's a matter of life and death, actually. It's that important. So aside from Grimes, who is powerless in this pyramid and uses the power of other people to be perceived as somebody of high status, there are people like Jordan Peterson. He was directly involved in my targeting. These people didn't like my commentary. They didn't like that I was on the heels of the alt-right. They don't like the comments that I say about the manosphere. Although I'm very kind to men, I'm actually very supportive of men. I don't have any issues with you. I have issues with assholes. I don't know why it triggers people, but it's like just assholes, okay? So if you're an asshole, obviously you're gonna have a problem, but if you're not, you shouldn't have a problem, okay? So Jordan Peterson then recruited a bunch of other people, and they started this MK Ultra scheme to suck me into their little breeder cult, the divine feminine and masculine twin flame universe. And they're associated with the Pentagon for another program that they have that's like related to mind mapping or something like that. So all of these people are somehow within the biodigital convergence, and then they're in the background manipulating it so that they can do mirrored content. So Jordan Peterson was initially like one of the bigger heads that was architecting this. And if you look at his videos, you'll start to see the connection between all of them. He talks a lot about betrayal, and that's one of the biggest themes in the twin flame universe. It's about triangulation, narcissistic abuse, narcissistic proxy abuse, and their betrayals. And all of these are orchestrated and manufactured, okay? So they recruit people once they have hacked you and they learn who you are. They map out your network, and they can use platforms like Palantir. Palantir has digital twin technology, or a digital twin platform that allows them to pull from sensors, and that includes biosensors, and it allows them to map organizations. It allows them to map anything really. So the basis or the beginning of their targeting is them doing reconnaissance and then mapping out your networks. And then they go to these people subversively, covertly behind your back, and they start finagling their way in and offering incentives and bribing, and they want to create social proof. So the more people that they can get on board with their narrative, the better for them, because they want to paint you in a certain way. This is all about perception. So an aspect of the psychological warfare is perceptual war, basically. It's a war of what you think, what you see, what you believe, and it's in regards to individuals. So they create the narrative, which is why they think they are divining. If you ever look at Grimes's, just look her up on Google, you will see that she's associated with something called a Death Note. It's a movie that she was really into, or a book or whatever, and you write people, it's like a burn book, right? But this ties into their theme of divining, or writing other people's lives and stories. And they're really that narcissistic and entitled. They really think that they can somehow be a god in the lives of people that they target, while they're trying to cannibalize your identity and perform it as their own. Again, if you watched another video, I was talking about, like, if you wanted to be an activist, who would you target? You would go target an activist, suppress them, and then mirror them so that you can be seen as that person, right? And then just sort of keep their head underwater so they're never known, and nobody knows that that's where you're getting it from. That's essentially what this network does. So they don't actually have to be decent people. They can just mimic decent people. And then they create, a whole bunch of storylines where they're filling the gaps between what they eavesdrop. That's why you hear Chiron talking about, oh, maybe you used to be this, and maybe you used to be that, and da-da-da. This man doesn't know shit. He doesn't even know how to get his life together, because if you're a gang stalker, you're pretty much at the end of life. I mean, it's symbolic of having a failed life to be a gang stalker. So they're not somebody that you should listen to in terms of life coaching or just decency, even though they like to try to play themselves off as they are by devaluing and degrading the people that they're stealing identity from. So anyways, the people that targeted me that are higher up than Grimes, or the power that she's borrowing, and I don't even think Peterson is really that powerful. I think he's just sort of a sniveling bootlicker, and they like him for whatever reason. So there's Jordan Peterson. He's one of the little architects. He creates like the themes of betrayal, and he gives them the higher level or higher order thinking, because these people can only do the perverted shit, and then he recruited Richard Grannon, who is on the side of the narcissistic disorder personality sphere, where they talk about narcissistic proxy abuse. But it's not just them talking about it. They turned it into a process, and they use it in their real world targeting of other people. And every video that they make is based on their targeting of somebody else. And that's how they get this whole weird empath, narcissist dichotomy. So those are the people involved, including Sam Vaknin over there. Okay? Keep that in mind.